Rebels just want to get out of this one. Ice Ice is already dead. They have the Supernova on top. Looks like Cloud9 Super wants to go for the kill now on Misery. And it's just stun him up a little bit, slow him down. The dagger's there as well. No tail. They actually managed to get a really good set. FY jumping forward. He's on the Nova. He's going to be able to pop that one. And Cloud9, they're trying to get out of here. Misery's going to go down. He sleeps himself 4 steps away, trying to get some distance desperately, but will not be able to get away from How. Oh, and he's still alive. He is unbelievable. He's slowing down Eternal Envy for the rest of his team. They're going to get to Eternal Envy. No Trail goes down first. He's dead as well. The Ice Bots over the top. FY is gone.
I don't even understand what he just did there. He steals the sleep. He somehow gets the egg. Completely turns the fight around. Vici Gaming with the wipe of the century. I still can't comprehend what he just did, but I mean, you talk about supports not being impactful in the late game, but he just proved it right there. That Aghanim Scepter went to work.
Unbelievable. Over a 15,000 net worth advantage for Cloud9 is now being threatened as Vici Gaming start pushing outside of their base. They're going to try and get some objectives here, going straight for that tier 2 in the middle lane. Just getting whatever the gold they can to rack up for How, who now has a Yasha in his inventory.
I mean, just look at the items that C9 have right now. They almost have a full they actually have the full Satanic on Envy. He's got a BKB that isn't even at 6 seconds. Like, he's still at 7. You've got SF, who's got a full-on Butterfly Scotty with an 8-second BKB, and Vici Gaming still managed to win the fight with almost no farm on anybody. I just actually can't even comprehend that that just happened.
And it's such a high-profile, high-pressure match for Cloud9 that's got to rattle you a little bit, that you're up so far ahead, and Vici Gaming just managed to take a fight against you, but they can't afford to give up any room for Vici Gaming to sit back and farm. They're still in a really great position, and that Roshan is still up. Vici Gaming were unable to take it during the downtime.
It just seems like Vici Gaming, I mean, when their backs are against the wall, they really know what to go for. They continue to play aggressively. Even a Rax down, no buybacks on anybody. They're just like, okay, just continue to go for it. Look for the opportunities. This is a good fight. They instantly blow up the Shadow Fiend using the FY Rubik Lift in conjunction with the Ice Blast and Super's ultimate. Instantly blow him up, turn the fight into a 4v5. And even then, C9 still have the advantage, but FY with those steals.
Now, Super's got 3,800 gold. No Blink Daggers, so there's not an opportunity for him to go like Blink Scythe of Ice necessarily, but it's still going to be a pretty valuable item. Or do you maybe go for the right-click build that we've seen certain Queen of Pains and Lita go for before?
I think you just hold for now. Try to see what C9 go for next, but C9's going to go for the Roshan here. This is the much safer play. And it looks like Vici Gaming do want to contest this. They don't want to give up this Roshan for free. They realize, okay, we did that to Fada once, how are we going to do it twice? We actually can't mimic that again, but they have to hurry because this Roshan is going down quite quickly, but C9, they're so careful.
Flare. Yeah, it's scaring them. They're going to back out of the Roshan pit. Wait for Vici Gaming to have to deal with perhaps the bottom lane push. That's coming in. Rocket Flare after Rocket Flare. Slowly but surely, Roshan will end up going down. Not for anything, because of that Solar Crest that Misery was able to pick up. He is very farm for support. Vici Gaming keeping a close eye on that Roshan pit with constant Rocket Flares, ready to initiate at any point in time. They've got a Blink Dagger from Rubik. They've got globals practically from Ice Ice Ice, as well as the Ancient Apparition, the Hookshot and Ice Blast. And then, of course, How is ready to strike at any point in time while he's defending the base.
They're gonna, if they actually want to defend this Roshan, they have to play it perfectly, because this time C9, I mean, they're definitely gonna see this coming, because I mean, after that mid-fight, like, you don't really, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you still lose this game, but C9, they're gonna take this Roshan so quickly. Eventually Vici Gaming, they can't just wait by that area. They still have to farm on their own, and good job by Cloud9 taking the safe objective, and I mean, they're just playing this a lot more cautiously than they previously have in games. This is what's going to actually allow them to take the base.
Now this really limits the options of Vici Gaming. They can't actually go for the SF necessarily anymore because he does have that Aegis. A better option would be a Eternal Envy, but something tells me Cloud9 are just going to sit back and let Vada sit on the front lines. FY managing to steal Sunray there. See if it actually comes of any use to him.
Yeah, they're just going to send Vada up front, like you said. They don't have to push this too fast. They can farm out the jungle as many times as they want and then approach the base, because Vici Gaming, they don't have the wiggle room to get caught out of position. Like in an ideal world, How gets caught, but he deals some damage first, and then he buybacks ultimates in. That's an okay death, but to be caught before the fight even happens or before the push even happens, that would be disaster, because then you have to play the fight perfectly from there on out, but how, I mean, he might just opt to go for the item buy. He's got 4,200 gold. If he buys a full heart here, that could just completely turn the game. It's gonna be so hard to kill him, but he still doesn't have the armor to back it up.
Some added mobility from Super. Blink Dagger on him alongside FY, and they're actually going to go for a smoke now. This could be a beautiful opportunity. You could see
they catch them at top.
Yep. Eternal Envy and No Tail are farming up their jungle.
Oh, there's just no way.
This is a dream for Vici Gaming if they can actually get there in time.
This
left to right, left to right. They're going to move left, and that's the right option. They're going to find it. Going to get the left, leaning on him. Telekinesis, eyes blast over the top. They're going to blow up No Tail, so there's no escape for EE. No mercy, they say. Vici Gaming find the pickoffs to prolong the game a bit further.
And this is what I'm talking about, because Vici Gaming could just play the patient game, never leave their base, and then maybe there's a 10% chance that they win. But with the way that they're playing right now, they just continue to go for the win. They're like, okay, even if this smoke fails and we run into 5, whatever, but this is how we want to play the game. If you notice that Hao's actually completed his Heart of Tarask, he's not going to go for the buyback. This is a team that's playing for the win. They're not even acting like there's a net worth deficit.
They certainly aren't. Hao aggressively pushing forward that top lane, knowing that Cloud9 are very unlikely to contest it at this point. Fodder's just sitting back, farming away. He could be going for the MKB here. There's no evasion yet. Maybe he wants to go for the higher damage of Diggless.
Yeah, and this is so aggressive right now from Vici Gaming. This tier 2 tower would mean a lot to them. It opens up the map. It's harder for C9 to defend. It means the split push option is available to Hao now. They are going to get it for free. Definitely don't want to buy back for that.
5, 8, and 16. Hao started off having a bit of a rough game with pressure being put on him constantly. Dying a lot in the early game, but is beginning to make that comeback in net worth. He's sitting at 16,000 compared to almost the 20,000 of Eternal Envy and 23,000 of the SF. Of course, that net worth is particularly on the SF, perhaps isn't quite as useful. Isn't going to make as large of an impact as it would on a Spectre. So, keeping that in mind, Vici Gaming are definitely making this gap closer and closer, but it seems like Cloud9, even after some of these pickoffs, I'm not sure if it's nerves or perhaps they're just very confident going into the super late game. What exactly are we going to be looking at? 60 minutes plus.
I mean, C9, I think they're just a little bit too worried about what's going on. They've got the Aegis on Fada, so they want to make a move, but every single time what's happening right now is that Vici Gaming, whenever C9 split up, they're looking for the pickoffs to delay the game and not allow C9 to just march through lanes, because that's what would happen. Like if Fada just goes on the high ground, right clicks the tower, he's got a BKB that's 8 full seconds, it's really hard to take him down twice. When he has the Aegis, it's nearly impossible, just because he can pop the BKB on his way down,
right,
and then it's a free life. But Vici Gaming are just trying to extend the game out a little bit longer, but this is so snarky.
Yeah, they actually have been pushing up the top lane, which is a bit peculiar because the lane of Rax is already gone, but they backed up, smoked. They're now going to try and make some sort of play inside of the enemy base. The problem is Vici Gaming aren't actually there. It's just Ice, Ice, Ice defending underneath his tier 4.
Oh, Hao might just TP in and go right for the top lane.
Oh, he's going to start moving forward. That smoke is only going to last a few more seconds, though. Timing is critical
Not
here.
Sure. He's like, there's no way they're going to be up there, but he's still just waiting in his base.
He waits it out successfully. Cloud9 start hiding themselves in the trees, but their smoke does end.
Oh, and they know now.
And so too does their surprise.
Wow, I can't believe Hao just waited there the entire time.
Hear the crowd. Some Vici Gaming fans relieved that Hao does not get picked off there. He's very close to not having buyback as well.
You want to see this game continue.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Dota right now, it doesn't even matter who wins at this point.
All right, so there goes. The Aegis advantage is gone for Cloud9. 3.5 minutes until Roshan is back up. Vici Gaming, I think, just bought themselves a good 4 minutes of farming time.
You think Vici Gaming waits for the next Aegis? It's going to be.
Or do they push out now, are you saying?
Yeah, I think they probably wait for the Aegis cheese. Like, if you lose another fight, all of a sudden, everything just swings around.
Right.
Vici Gaming already have the momentum on their side, and they're pretty confident that they can win a fight over Cloud9, so just to kind of make things safe, you probably wait for the Aegis cheese and then just go all in for a 5-man push. But if you're C9, you can definitely wait that out. You can place the more aggressive wards. They've got a gem on Bone 7 still. And Vici Gaming, they're not really going to risk it. Like, maybe they go for a smoke gank at some point, but for the most part, they're just going to be grouped up as 5.
Yeah, I feel like the most important thing is getting vision up. There's no smokes on either side for the next 6 minutes. So Cloud9, they already are holding on to that gem. Misery's got it right now, and they're taking away some of the vision away from Vici Gaming. I feel like both sides need to try and do something like that. Vici Gaming, just to make sure that they don't get caught by Cloud9's aggressive 5-man. And of course, Cloud9 not wanting to give any openings for Vici Gaming to farm up in relative safety. Cloud9 seem to be rather scared right now. They start backing up to the middle lane. No one is leaving this 5-man stack. Last time they did that, Eternal Envy and No-Tail got picked off in their own jungle.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy right now because C9 have a 10k advantage, but they still aren't willing to get in the fight. They're not going to be blind for this fight. They're walking straight up.
Eternal Envy sees this one. Cloud9, they know. They just popped the ward, so they're somewhere nearby. The mid-choke shot is there, and now the Supernova is laid out. Super starts going for it. Ice trying to get away from his cogs, but he will go down. Misery managed to get the feed scream on top. Super and Fenrir gets stunned up. Hal in the background trying to deal with Fauna, but he can't do it. Eternal Envy, oh, he's going to get bursted down. They managed to get the Laguna Blade off on top of that one. 3 down on the side of Cloud9. Fenrir's going to fall, even it up. 3 for 3. How and FY, they're going to force Fauna TP back. No, he actually has the ulti. He wants to try and go for both 7. He lets it rip. FY once again being the commanding position in this team fight.
They're actually going to just chase him down too. FY, grab the invincibility.
No, FY snagged it. He's going to get out. Oh, Fauna, he wants the kill desperately, but he's done for. How gets the kill? And FY, the MVP of this match, and it's not even over yet.
If there was any question in the world who the best Rubik player is, FY just completely ended it. You can't make an argument for anybody else. With 1 Blink Dagger, a Force Staff, and an Aghanim Scepter, this guy's stolen 3 consecutive game-changing ultimates. How do you give credit to anybody else on Vici Gaming? This guy is an absolute monster.
And because of him, Hao is now sitting very pretty in the net worth chart. He has now finally jumped over Eternal Envy, taking that 2nd place position. He's got 5k gold in the bank, just waiting to be spent.
That's just pure confidence. You take a fight knowing you're 10, 15k gold down every single time, and you're like, well, FI, you'll figure it out. Like, that's your job right now in all of these fights. Just outplay the shit out of them every single time, and he's delivering.
All right, so Manta's going to be finished up. It's 34-31. Taking a look at that net worth chart. It's going to be going dramatically upwards for the last 15 minutes. What was once 18, 19,000 gold lead for Cloud9 has now been minimalized to only about 6k. I experienced pretty much nothing.
The fact that Vici Gaming has completely turned this game around. They lost the racks at 30 minutes in. 20 minutes later, they're standing pretty. They haven't lost a single tower since that moment, and they might even decide to go for this Roche fight.
Cloud9, they've seen it. Roshan is definitely here. Vici Gaming have to know. I mean, between the rocket flares as well as the later spawn time, it's guaranteed. Fenrir, they also managed to pick up a gem, so they're going to start taking away this vision of Cloud9. Very critical at this point. As those smokes, they're going to be coming in another 2.5 minutes. Solid time for Vici Gaming to control this map and get our Spectre completely 6-slotted. And Spectre, by far, has got to be one of the most valuable heroes in the late game with an excess of gold. Once you manage to get that 6-slot, 7, 8-slot, you can do certain things like buyback, refresh your ultimate, go back in. There's so many different ways that Spectre can get an advantage in the late game.
Yeah, and both teams know that this Roche fight is going to determine so much. This is both an Aegis and a Cheese, and for C9, I mean, that could mean the difference between a win and a loss here is I don't really know if they can kill Hao twice if he manages to get an Aegis. And if you give somebody like FI a Cheese,